Trump and the Tesla conspiracy? This wasn't on my radar. As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game. Thank you for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terri Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is May 6, 2025, and like I said, this video was not even on my radar. Trump and the Tesla conspiracy wasn't even on my radar, but I saw something that made me jump up and say, I've got to cover this. And y'all, I'm 40 videos behind that I've got on drawing boards right now. But let's get into this. Let's connect some pieces to connect this Trump and Tesla conspiracy together. First, let's look at Nikola Tesla. He was born July 10th, 1856 in Croatia, and he died January 7th, 1943. Puzzle piece number 2 is that infamous book about Baron Trump. You know, the book about Baron Trump, written by Ingersoll Lockwood. The book is in the Library of Congress. Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. This is a 3-book collection. The Baron Trump 3-in-1 collection, The Last President, also called 1900, Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump, and Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. So people have found that very, concerning that there would be a book written about Baron Trump. Let's keep going because we're connecting pieces, and wait till you see it all come together, okay? A book about Trump. One of those books in the 3-book collection, The Last President, or 1900, is book 3, 2 of the 3 in Ingersoll Lockwood's collection. Okay, it says, let's make it bigger. The Last President by Ingersoll Lockwood is a surrealistic 1896 novel where Americans are protesting a corrupt election process while the president's hometown of New York City is featuring the collapse of the republic after the transition of presidential power. If this reminds you of the attributes after the 2016 Trump presidential win, you are not alone. During 2017, this book, as well as Lockwood's 2 children's books, The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and his wonderful dog Bulger, and Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, drew attention due to its uncanny connection to President Trump and his family. So I'm just going to show y'all 2 little things on the book of Baron Trump. The Baron Trump collection, Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and his wonderful dog Bulger, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. It is available on Amazon for $16. Written in 1890, this one. Now, who is the author of these books? Ingersoll Lockwood. Who is the author? Ingersoll Lockwood, born August 2nd, 1841, and died September 30th, 1918. Wikipedia says that Ingersoll Lockwood, 1841 to 1918, was a New York lawyer, political writer, and novelist. Does that sound like he's got anything to do with Tesla? He's a New York lawyer, a political writer, and a novelist. Seems not connected. His books, The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey in 1900, or The Last President, are available from Cosmo Classics. We're connecting pieces. When you sit at the table with a 1,000-piece puzzle and you put all these pieces together, it looks like nothing makes sense. But you pick up one piece at a time. You look for the green on one side of one of these puzzle pieces, and then you pick up one that's got the same color shade of that green, and you connect it together. Oh, these two shades of green go together. Then on the other side is a lighter shade of orange, and you pick up some pieces looking for that lighter shade of orange to connect to that side. Once you start connecting all these things that look similar, you start seeing a big picture. Tesla, Secret Experiments, Trump, and Ingersoll Lockwood. So Tesla again was born July 10th, 1856. Okay, so let's look at this little, I had to block out some stuff because I didn't want to expose it yet. Tesla was born in 1856 in Croatia. In 1884, Tesla moved to New York City at 28 years old to work with Einstein. Ingersoll Lockwood, the lawyer and political writer, was born and raised in New York City, okay, in 1841. So about at the age of 48, he released this book on Baron Trump. He died in 1918. Tesla was 62 years old when he died. I'm not going to expose this yet, okay? But during that time, he was working with Albert Einstein. He was working on a secret experiment. He came over to work with Thomas Edison. He ended up working with Einstein. Okay, let's go see this. The Secret Experiment. This article is from January 25th, 2024. In 1943, the United States Navy conducted a series of tests to make Allied ships and enemy radar invisible. The results of these tests were never made public. But the last test, the one that would conclude the project, is known to all as the Philadelphia Experiment. And it is 1943, or we are in the midst of the Second World War. Two sides are trying to get the better of the other by trying to create increasingly new modern as well as particular weapons. Y'all, they're so far advanced that we can't even imagine. At that point, a ferocious naval battle was underway between the U.S. ships and the fearsome German U-boat bots, in which the silent hunters seemed at that moment to have the upper hand by continuing to sink Allied ships. The U.S. then wondered if it was possible to take camouflage to a higher level to make a ship invisible to radar or completely invisible. Thus, the Rainbow Project was born, of which the Philadelphia Experiment marked the conclusion. The Americans believed they already had a theory suitable for the realization of their project. The interaction between gravity, magnetism, and electricity theorized by Einstein seemed perfect, but there was a problem. They needed someone who was able to implement on a practical level, and in those years there was only one person capable of doing it, Nikola Tesla. The first phase of the experiment involved making a ship invisible to the radar, according to some witnesses. This phase was successful, and it was decided to move on to phase 2, attempting total invisibility. It was in that moment that something went wrong. The ship chosen for the experiments was recently completed USS Eldridge with a crew of 30 men who were not aware of the experiments, at least in the first phase. Tesla and Einstein eventually withdrew from the project, but what happened with the project? We're going to go look at this to connect these pieces. Connect the Trump and Tesla conspiracy.
October 1943. At the height of World War II, the Atlantic Ocean was a dangerous battleground where German submarines frequently targeted American ships. To help protect Allied vessels, the United States Navy reportedly initiated a top-secret program that became known as the Philadelphia Experiment.
The Philadelphia Experiment is a series of secret military projects which took place in 1943 in the Philadelphia shipyard. At that time, the Navy was really interested in camouflaging its ships. The original idea that the Navy had was to actually make the ship radar invisible.
The Philadelphia Experiment involved a US Navy destroyer that underwent the most strangest of experiments, with the concept being that if the ship were surrounded by incredibly intense electromagnetic fields, could it distort our vision of it enough that it became invisible?
As the story goes, on October 28, 1943, government scientists wrapped a fully crewed ship named the USS Eldridge in a cage of electrified copper wire and began the experiment. But then, everything went terribly wrong.
Supposedly, after the switch was thrown, all hell broke loose. The ship was encased in fog. Everyone was running around the decks, screaming in panic mode. No one knew what was happening. At that point, the USS Eldridge vanished in a green mist, only to reappear in the Norfolk, Virginia shipyard, disappear again, then, about 3 hours later, reappear in Philadelphia.
This was witnessed by a merchant mariner called Carl M. Allen, who claims that he saw it vanish in the green mist before returning to the same spot. And then in Virginia, some people witnessed the ship appear there and vanish there as well. So what is going on here?
Now I'm jumping to this other clip, and then we're going to go back to finish that clip. That was from the History Channel, Real Life. Well, in 1984, I was 18 years old, and I remember watching this movie about the Philadelphia Experiment on television. And now that I'm older, it makes so much more sense. Watch this trailer for this movie.
It was October 1943. The United States government authorized an experiment that would render its ships undetectable by radar. The experiment took place on a ship in Philadelphia Harbor.
Generators activated, sir.
For 41 years, the government denied it ever happened.
I don't believe this.
The Eldridge has vanished.
Of course she has. She's radar invisible.
No, sir. She's really vanished.
But one ship did disappear, and two of the crew suddenly find themselves in the present.
Maybe all this isn't real.
You're telling me this is my imagination? You think the Navy knows what they're doing? You saw the guys on the boat. This wasn't supposed to happen, Jimmy.
Jimmy, whatever it is, it's after us.
Michael Pere.
Somehow we got moved in time. This time, it's not ours. 1943 was yesterday for me.
Nancy Allen.
What sort of experiment is it? Is it some kind of secret thing? Is that it?
Well, all that stuff I told the doctors back there, you know, about time in 1943, do you believe it?
I believe that you believe it.
And Bobby DiCicco.
Don't leave me, Davey. Can't go through this again.
The Philadelphia Experiment. They opened a hole in time, and it stayed open.
Good God, there it is.
Now the government needs the one man who can stop the experiment.
Look out!
can't stop it, but I believe that you can.
He's lying, David.
I wish to God I were.
I gotta go.
Remember, communication ceases when you enter the vortex. We won't be able to help you.
The Philadelphia Experiment.
Now let's go back to that History Channel clip.
And then in Virginia, some people witnessed the ship appear there and vanish there as well. So what is going on here?
When the ship was boarded, it was found that the sailors were in horrible condition. Many were dead, and others were found to be embedded in the bulkhead of the ship, still alive.
Some of the crew seem to be almost frozen in time or stuck within parts of the ship and unable to actually get out, which seems to suggest the alleged teleportation involved with the Philadelphia experiment, that it had actually warped space-time itself.
According to reports that surfaced years after the catastrophic experiment, the USS Eldridge was not only transported across hundreds of miles, but it also seems to have somehow traveled decades into the future.
Allegedly, the ship was actually catapulted through time and space, a completely unexpected result, appearing at various locations like Chicago in 1969 and Lake Mead in 1983, only to disappear and to continue across the time stream uncontrolled. The Eldridge just randomly skipped across time, achieving a rough form of time travel.
The secret experiment, Tesla and Einstein. And y'all, this picture of Albert Einstein has always bothered me. Always bothered me. That picture bothers me so much that I will notice it anywhere. Did y'all ever notice it in the Shawshank Redemption movie? One of the best movies I've seen. But did y'all ever see Einstein's picture in this scene when Andy Sale is missing? Let's go look at this.
Breakfast now. Yes, sir. Let's go. Move your butts. Move it!
Look right there, above the sail. Watch.
Stand. Well.
Did y'all see it? It's just there for a second. There it is. Why? This picture bothers me because we all know that the sticking out tongue is the allegiance or the involvement with the Illuminati. So what were they working on? And what normal scientist in the 1940s would go around sticking his tongue out? This was not during selfies time when men were immature. And here we are today, people still sticking out their tongue, all the people that are accused of being in the Illuminati. And I found this video called The Mocking Tongue. They mock us. We're connecting pieces. Let's go see this.
Peace here, brothers and sisters. It's valuable to welcome back to another video. Let's talk about one of the most common symbolisms used by the Illuminati puppets and devil worshippers. It's called the mocking tongue symbolism. It's one of the most irritating satanic symbolism because it's all about blasphemy. You know, I see a lot of young teens, especially the girls, trying to copycat this bad lifestyle. And they get it from Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, Cardi B, Lady Gaga, Megan Thee Stallion, and the rest. In fact, it's so satanic. And when you go out, like when you try to preach the truth to people, when you're trying to let people know the truth, they'll be like, oh, come on, you're reaching. Oh, they think that shit is cool. I mean, they think sticking your tongue out is nothing much. And they think there's nothing evil about it. But here's the truth. That's a satanic symbolism. And it started not today, it's been there for thousands of years ago. And it's even written in the Bible in the Old Testament. If you read the book of Isaiah 57 verse 4, it says that, whom do you mock, making faces and sticking out your tongue, you children of sinners and liars? I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Translation. You see, people are joking with satanic stuff. I mean, they're joking with their life, they're joking with their eternity. These Satanists know the Bible. I mean, they know it very, very well. And they keep looking for means to oppose the Bible. They keep looking for means to blaspheme against God using scriptures of the Bible. We know about a lightning bolt symbolism. The reason why you see these Satanists putting on lightning bolt is because it is in the Bible. They got that stuff from the Bible. For real. Just as God revealed to Prophet Isaiah in Isaiah 57 verse 4. Exactly. Whom do you mock? You're making faces and sticking out your tongue. You children of sinners and liars. I mean, that's what they do. These people are so perverse. They are so into sin. They are so into immorality. And they lie a lot. They lie on the TV. They're deceiving the masses. They're pulling these souls to hell. They want to make sure that everybody burn in hell with them because they have sold their souls to the devil and they barely have any hope of salvation. So they don't mind pulling these lost souls to hell. That's why you see them keep mocking God, mocking their tongue. And you think they're mocking the TV viewers. No, they're mocking God. They're mocking God because they're living immoral lives. They're like...
He said they are mocking God. What religion was Albert Einstein? Albert Einstein was not a traditional religious person, but rather described himself as a religious non-believer or agnostic. They are mocking God. And here's Trump even at the UN, where all the world leaders are assembled together, and Donald Trump is sticking out his tongue. What kind of leader of a free world would be meeting with other heads of states and presidents and prime ministers and kings and stick out his tongue like an unrefined heathen? They are mocking God and letting each other know that they are okay with the agenda. So now let's look at Ingersoll Lockwood. Now remember, Ingersoll Lockwood is the name of the author and the political writer that wrote the Barron Trump books. Okay? Now there's a website called Ingersoll Lockwood, and we're going to go look at it. But I typed, does Ingersoll Lockwood work with the government? And I meant the website. And it comes up about the person and then the website. Yes, Ingersoll Lockwood did work with the government, but everything that we read just said that he was a political writer and an author, and then he went back to New York to become a lawyer. It did not say he worked with the government until I asked Google directly. Yes, Ingersoll Lockwood did work with the government. He was appointed as consul to the Kingdom of Hanover by the Lincoln administration, making him the youngest member of the U.S. delegation. After this, he returned to New York City and established a successful law firm. Additionally, a company named Ingersoll Lockwood Incorporated develops and invests in technologies that are used by the U.S. government. So a man who worked for the government then returned to New York City, where Tesla had moved from Croatia to and was living and working on secret experiments that involved time traveling. And when he went back, Ingersoll, quote, became a lawyer, his cover, while Tesla was working on a secret time travel experiment. And now there's a website named Ingersoll Lockwood that works with the government. Okay, we're going to go look at it in a minute, okay? White rabbit. Let's look at this white rabbit. The White Rabbit is a fictional character in Alice in Wonderland. He appears at the very beginning of the book. Alex follows him down the rabbit hole into Wonderland. And Ingersoll Lockwood is going to take us down a rabbit hole via a white rabbit. Let's go to their website. So you go to IngersollLockwood.com, okay? And you just scroll down. And when you go down, y'all see the rabbit. Do y'all see the rabbit? Right there, the white rabbit. Let's go down the rabbit hole. You click on it, and a hidden door opens. This time, it's the White House lab leak. And it talks about COVID. Ingersoll Lockwood, still connected to politics, leading you via a white rabbit. Let's keep going. So now it's about to get interesting. Trump and the Tesla conspiracy. Tesla's experiments. Y'all hold on to your horses now. Hold on to your jaw because it's about to hit the floor. Let's look at this. From the History Channel, Tesla's secret time machine revealed.
Nikola Tesla is widely considered to be a scientific genius who changed the course of history. But there are those who believe that Tesla should also be credited with an even more extraordinary invention: a time machine.
Allegedly, the United States got access to time travel technology from a number of papers taken away from Tesla's apartment, which gave details on how to create a teleportation device. And with teleportation, you could also have time travel.
There are many who believe that Nikola Tesla invented a time machine during his lifetime. There are many reasons for this belief. Tesla once claimed to have created a machine that allowed him to see the past, present, and future all at once, which fuels speculation about a time machine. Some people believe that Tesla's profound understanding of electrical energy, magnetism, and their interplay could have led him to discover time travel mechanics. There's speculation that Tesla may have been involved in secret projects and research, some of which could have included the development of a time machine. The myth of the Philadelphia experiment, a supposed military test that allegedly caused a ship to teleport, is often connected to Tesla, contributing to beliefs in his potential involvement in time travel technology. Tesla predicted numerous modern technologies with uncanny accuracy, leading some to suggest that he may have had the ability to time travel. After Tesla's death, some of his documents and work were confiscated and kept hidden, leading some to believe that these might contain evidence of a time machine.
His papers were confiscated. Who do you think took these papers? Trump and the Tesla conspiracy. Are y'all ready?
The theory that the Trumps are time travelers.
Grab me a DeLorean.
This connects to Nikola Tesla.
No way.
Nikola Tesla died, and within his hotel that he had 80 plus trunks of all his patents, his designs for different technologies, all this stuff. Guess who they sent first to go and collect the stuff?
I don't know.
John G. Trump. Donald Trump's uncle.
What?
Weird.
So the theory is that he took some of these trunks.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But Tesla said that he had figured out how to bend time. So
as one does.
The theory is Donald Trump's uncle took this, created a time machine.
Oh my gosh.
And then the weird connection is there was a book that came out in 1896, and it's called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
You're saying
do you know
it was actually Baron Trump?
Do you know what the book was about?
What?
Time travel?
Baron Trump time traveling.
No!
Have you heard?
So they said John G. Trump is the one that confiscated Tesla's papers. Y'all, we're about to get good in this. You say, oh, but that's conspiracy.
Is Baron Trump a time traveler? Conspiracy theorists think so, and here's why.
A series of 1890s books by Ingersoll Lockwood features a boy named Baron Trump with eerie similarities to Baron. The fictional Baron travels through time and is mentored by a man named Don. Sound familiar? Another Lockwood book, The Last President, tells the story of a man living on Fifth Avenue who unexpectedly becomes president, sparking chaos. Fans can't ignore the parallels to Donald Trump's rise. Adding fuel to the theory, Nikola Tesla's time travel research. After Tesla's death, Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, reportedly reviewed his work. Did the Trump family unlock the secret to time travel? Wild coincidence or hidden truth?
Oh, that's just those crazy conspiracy theorists. Donald Trump would never do nothing like that. It's just people coming against Donald Trump because he's wanting to make America great again. These conspiracy theorists are nuts. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth, shall we? Since people believe what comes out of his mouth, let's go hear what came out of his mouth. Let's hear this interview between Trump and Glenn Beck.
How crazy is it that you are working with Elon Musk, today's Tesla?
Yeah.
And when Tesla died, it was your genius uncle that was sent to try to figure out what papers should be kept in his. How crazy is that?
Actually, so my uncle was a great, brilliant man, my father's brother. My father was working very hard to put my uncle through MIT and all that. And when my uncle graduated, he was so brilliant that MIT said, why don't you stay here and become a professor?
It's crazy.
Which is pretty good. He 3 different degrees.
Yeah.
It really was amazing. And the United States government gave him an assignment of finding out whether or not Mr. Tesla was the real deal, or was he not the real deal? In other words, was he really great, or was he just an average guy? And my uncle did a report on it, and you know what was nice? He said he was really great. A lot of people in that position would be jealous.
Yeah.
But he actually said he was great.
And here you are, working with today's Tesla.
That's right.
That's so
right.
great.
And Elon's a great guy, too.
And y'all, and do y'all remember that book? I did a video. That book that came out about a man named Elon that shows up to colonize Mars? And Donald Trump's uncle is the one that took possession of the time-traveling research? Who doesn't love a weird 60-year-plus old coincidence? As if there aren't enough headlines about Elon Musk at the moment, a connection between his name and 2 decades old book that seemed to eerily predict the billionaire's involvement in Mars exploration resurfaced this week. In the 1950s, German turned American scientist Project Paperclip, go research it. German turned American scientist, go look up Operation Paperclip. When the United States brought over Nazi scientists to America. In the 1950s, German turned American scientist Werner von Braun, yes, the Nazis' leading rocket man, wrote a science fiction book called The Mars Project. It takes place in then distant 1980 and features human colonists on Mars whose leader uses the name Elon. Y'all think about this? The Illuminati tongue sticking out, people that were involved in a secret experiment on time travel. Tesla dies, his materials get confiscated, and it's Donald Trump's uncle, Donald Trump's father's brother, who went and took possession of the time travel material.
How crazy is it that you are working with Elon Musk, today's Tesla?
Yeah.
And when Tesla died, it was your genius uncle that was sent to try to figure out what papers should be kept in his. How crazy is that?
Trump didn't elaborate, did he? He didn't say what his uncle took. He just said he was just there to review to see if Tesla was the real deal. And my uncle said Tesla was a great guy. That's all he said. When his uncle took Tesla's papers. So let's look at this timeline. The pieces are coming together. Tesla was born in Croatia, and he moved to New York at 28 years old in 1884. 5 years later, Ingersoll Lockwood, who worked with the government, wrote a book about time traveling. Tesla was working on a time traveling experiment. Let's see this. Nikola Tesla moved to New York June 1884. He arrived with a letter of introduction to Thomas Edison, who then hired him as an engineer. Tesla initially worked for Edison in his Manhattan headquarters. So he lives in the same place with the guy that was working for the government, who then moved to New York. Ingersoll Lockwood was an American lawyer, diplomat, and writer. He wrote children's novels, including Baron Trump's novels, as well as dystopian novel 1900 or The Last President. The Last President. Ingersoll Lockwood died in 1819. Tesla was 62 years old when Ingersoll died, and Ingersoll was dead and buried in New York, and Tesla is buried in New York. The Rainbow Project and the Tesla experiment, which was part of the secret project, the secret experiment on the Philadelphia experiment from 1942 to 1943, the Rainbow Project and the Philadelphia experiment. The next year, Tesla dies in New York. John Trump, who was 36 years old at that time, was the one sent in to go take all of Tesla's documents. So y'all tell me, Donald Trump's uncle gets all of Tesla's research, and Trump becomes president. Y'all leave me in comments. Let me know what you think about this. Trump and the Tesla conspiracy. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Keep serving Jesus. This is the only way we're going to make it through these crazy times. If y'all appreciate the content that I bring on this channel, I'm a single mom to an adult autistic son. I do not work outside the home. I am love offering supported only. So if you appreciate the content that I bring on this channel, would you prayerfully consider a small love offering? Truth is not for sale, and I will never monetize my channel. I will not get a Patreon. I will not charge some people extra to come see hidden information that I have. Everybody equally, whether you give any kind of money or no money, everybody equally, whether you hate me or not, and you sneak back over to my channel to hear what I have to say. Everything is wide open to friends and foe alike, because the truth is not for sale. But if you appreciate the content that I bring, that you feel like no other channel is bringing, that I'm bringing it to you with the power and the anointing of the Holy Ghost, under the conviction that we're all going to stand before God, if you appreciate the amount of time that it takes to research this, would you prayerfully consider a small donation to help support us? Thank you for watching. I love y'all. Bye-bye.